Hey everybody, and welcome back to another breakthrough. I hope you guys are really enjoying this series on breakthroughs, and today I want to share with you one that will change your future if you let it, because it gives you total control over the future. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever had somebody tell you you can't do something? You know, like something you really wanted to do, and they're like, no, you can't do that. Like, you don't have the ability to do that. It's not possible. Anybody ever told you something like that? In the world that I live, in the world of stock trading and investing and whatnot, a lot of times people will come to me and they'll say, hey, I want to learn how to do this, but my such and such, my spouse, my aunt, my uncle, whoever it is, said they can't do it. They told me that this isn't possible. And then that starts to become a belief. And like we've talked about before, beliefs make up your reality. You get to decide what you believe, and if you choose to believe that something's not possible, guess what? It's not. There's a famous quote, I think it was from Henry Ford, that said, if you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right. It's really what you think. It's what you choose to believe. And when it comes to possibility, it's so easy for us to seek the approval of others, to look at somebody else and say, hey, what do you think? Should I do this? And we let them make the decision that really is our decision to make. And guess what? Even though these people are well-intended, even though they want good things for you, they don't know what you want, and they don't really have the ability to make the right decision for you. That's something that you have to step up into that world and say, you know what, I have the ability, I have the authority, and I'm going to make my own decisions. For me, this was something that I struggled with for a really long time. For many years of my life, I wanted to be one thing. I wanted to be a baseball player. And the people that were around me, they didn't think that was a great idea. And they thought that I should become a musician. And they really loved me. And they really wanted good things for me. But it wasn't just my family. It was everybody around me. Like, you should be a musician. You should be a musician. This is what you should do. You're really talented. You should do this. And so eventually I did that. And I got a music degree. And I ended up operating in that world of music for almost 10 years. And it was a really exciting journey. I had a lot of blessings in that career and in that world. Met my wife there. You know, there were so many great things that came out of my music career, but there was one thing that was missing, and that was my passion, and that was the things that I really cared about the most. And so what I discovered is I had really given up 10 years of my adult life to someone else's vision for my life. And that was when I decided that I didn't want to be a musician. And as I started telling other people, you know, hey, I'm going to go do this instead. I'm going to start working in the world of stock trading and internet business and all these other things. People started saying, no, you don't want to do that. You should be a musician. That's what you are. You're really good. And it was a really hard thing to break free from, because it's a natural human inclination to want people around us to give us their approval. But here's what I discovered. I have the ability to decide what's possible in my life. I and only I have the ability to decide what is possible in my life for me and for those around me. It's not up to those around me to decide for me. It's up to me to decide. And guess what happened once I finally broke free from that? And I said, you know what? I don't care what you think. I'm going to go do this because that's what I want to do. Guess what happened? My world opened up. And then before you knew it, I started having all these successes. And all those very same people who told me I couldn't do it, they're like, wow, how did you do that? You know, can you show me how to do that? Can you teach me to do those things too? And so it was such a fascinating experience for me, because people who loved me and who really wanted the best for me, they gave me the absolute wrong advice. And it took the courage for me to step up and say, I decide what's possible. I get to decide what's possible in my life. And I want to challenge you to make that same decision. Look at your life right now and say, what are the things that are happening to me that I wish weren't like this? And who is it around me that's telling me that this is my fate and I'm stuck here? And decide. You get to decide what's possible in your life. I have another interesting story about this. I had a business relationship with somebody who, they had a much different vision than I had. And it wasn't just the vision for the business, but it was the vision for what we could do with the business. And I remember a specific time when I had this big vision and I wanted to go to a certain level, and this person said, it's not possible. There's no way that we're going to get there, and you're irresponsible for telling people that we're going to go to that level. And guess what happened? From that moment forward, the vision of the business started to suffer. The growth of the business, which was doing so great, started to suffer. And until we got that rooted out, there was no more growth that showed up in that business. It's going to happen just like that for you too. The moment that people start giving you negative thoughts and negative ideas, and they say you can't do something, if you agree with it, if you believe it, guess what's going to happen? It's going to become your reality. So you have to make the decision that you decide what's possible, and then you take action on that, and you keep it front and center, and you believe it. You're the only person who can decide what's possible in your life. You're the only person who can decide what the vision is for your life, and you're the one who's ultimately going to have to live with those visions and those consequences, for better or worse. So just, put on your big boy shoes, big girl shoes, and make the decision. Say, you know what? I'm going to decide what I'm going to do. I'm going to decide what's possible for me. Or if you're leading a family or a business, I'm going to decide what's possible for my family. I'm going to decide what's possible for my business. And whatever other people tell you is going to happen, you just say, you watch. In fact, if you become like me, now when people tell me I can't do something, I say, oh yeah? You think I can't do it? Let me prove to you that not only can I do it, I'm going to do it. And you're going to be the guy that's sitting on the outside looking like a fool who said I couldn't do something. So let that be fuel for you as well. You are the one who decides what's possible.